Good morning. Happy New Day. Grand Rising. This is your girl Amina Sai, and welcome to Infant Fridays, where we speak truth to the healing and healing journey. How you feeling? How are you feeling? I know I have missed a couple of weeks, but I'm gonna make it up for you. I've just been living life and enjoying myself. Matter of fact, I was being a little selfish, and that's gonna lead into today's topic: selfishness and its need to be present in your own healing journey. You ready? Let's go. So I know before we start things off, I like to define things because a lot of people have different meanings for words that we use every day. So let's break down the word selfishness, right? Or selfish. According to Oxford Languages, it says of a person, action, or motive lacking consideration for others, concerned chiefly with one's own personal profit or pleasure, right? And if you are looking at the Merriam-Webster, it says concern excessively or exclusively with oneself, seeking or concentrating on one's own advantage, pleasure, or well-being without regard for others. The second definition is arising from concern with one's own affair or advantage in disregard of others. All right. So I know a lot of people shun away from the idea that they are being selfish. And let me tell you, if you have ever accomplished anything in your life, there was a selfish act attached to it. And selfishness isn't always a negative thing. This is why. Because you have to be focused on yourself in order to accomplish something for yourself, right? Regardless of how it was done. Many of us are mothers, and this was something I used to struggle with when I was in corporate America, right? If ever you walk out that door and you see that baby crying for your attention, but your mind is on your money and the money is on your mind, and you make these excuses to be able to go out there into the work world while your children are crying for the affection, in a way you're being selfish. Is that a negative thing? Your agenda is to make sure that you are providing for the household, right? And your agenda is to be able to make sure that you and your family are secure. So don't act like we ain't never been selfish before. Why are we scared to be selfish in our own healing journey? It's impossible, and it's not going to work. So there are times you're going to need a break, right? There are times when you're going to need some rest. There are times where you're going to need some peace. There are times when you have to do some solo work. This healing work is a selfish act, but the reward is great. This is how it is greater, right? Most of us have been accustomed or grown up to think of others first. How you feeling? For those of us who have put people before us all our lives, sit with that. How are you feeling in this moment? Where has that gotten you? Right? Without any kind of promises, without any type of exchange, where's your energy level right now? If any of your answers are, well, it is a bit low, or sometimes I feel lonely, or I feel underappreciated, or I feel unseen, I feel unheard, I feel this, I feel that, and it's negative. You know what I'm saying? But I find great reward when I am providing for other people. That's some foolishness. But it's time for you to be able to pour into yourself. And this is what I mean about the selfish acts of healing, right? I'm going to give y'all a story. It ain't one of the best stories, but honey, I got a lot of them, right? So I remember one time in my healing journey, I'm going to make this quick. There was a point when I just felt like I just needed some extra help. And my therapist had suggested that I go to try out group therapy, right? She was like, go to this in-hospitalization program, try group therapy, maybe it'll work. And I was like, Doc, how long I gotta be in there? And she was like, it's an outpatient thing. I'm like, all right, cool, because I got children. But my children were gone for the summertime, so I had no excuses, and I went. I told them, we have 2 weeks to get this done because my baby's gonna come back home. In them 2 weeks time of me focusing on myself, being able to talk things out, being able to relate with people who may have had the same themes of situations that I went through, it was very, very rewarding for me to be able to focus on me in that moment and not have to worry about what am I going to cook for dinner, or, you know what I'm saying, bedtime and entertaining the children. It was great. But I remember getting a phone call one time from one of my besties, my granny, and I had told her, you know, what I was doing. And she has said, doing things like that will give your children's fathers ammunition. It's like adding fuel to the fire for anything that they may have against you or want to put against you. And I remember being mad. I was so mad because it's like, here I am trying to work on me and find my peace and find my happiness. And you are deterring me from that with making me consider someone else's feelings, thoughts, or actions towards me for something that is going to work for me and my children in the long run. And I remember going back into the therapy, and, you know, I was upset, and we do this round table, and, you know, everybody get to speak about what's on our minds. And I said, what happened? And I remember the question was, why are we still seeking validation from others on our own path? And I was struggling with that. I ain't seeking her validation or whatever. And my conclusion was, I don't want to cut her off too, because anyone who had contradicted me having to uplift myself, I was willing to Edward Scissorhands it and let them go, because my agenda was to be the better version of myself and for my children, right? So needless to say, I didn't probably talk to my grandmother for a little bit or whatever, because I wanted to be focused on myself. And some people will say, well, that is selfish. It's selfish of you not to think about your children. It's selfish of you not to think about, you know, what could happen if someone tried to, you know, use this as a negative attack. And, you know, it's selfish for you to speak about what happened because it may shun the family and things like that. But guess what? I wouldn't be here today helping people with tools. I wouldn't be this happy in life. I wouldn't be where I am locationally. My children are happier for it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no issues with my baby daddies today. But you know what I'm saying? That selfish act of me working on me has helped me in more ways than the fear and the consideration of someone else's thoughts. So I'm passing that along to you. Yes, you have full permission to be selfish in this healing journey. You have full permission to seek out what you desire in life, whatever your pleasures are, whatever your healing are, whatever your objectives are, for you to be at peace with yourself and with this life. Be selfish, knowing that things will definitely be greater for you, right? If you need some help with your selfishness and your healing, you can always reach out to me. I am available for appointments. You can schedule your appointments through my website, AaminaSai.com. That's AaminaHSai.com. Reach me on IG at Amina Sai Coaching. Look, no judgments. You got to do it for yourself, babe. This is your Effort Friday. Focus on self. Love you. Mean it. Cheers to your healing and live for a living. Peace.